Hi, welcome to the Divorce Vault. I'm Melissa Gragg. I'm a financial mediator and valuation expert. And for over 20 years, I've been helping couples get through and around the court system. So, inside the vault, you're going to find tons of step by step tools and guides and videos that are going to help you create all of the things that you can control in the divorce process. But today, I just wanted to kind of talk briefly about how can you utilize this information to get to a settlement offer and to get settled outside of court. So, a lot of what we're doing is to give you the tools, the guides, the spreadsheets in order to settle your case outside of court. That's the only way that you're going to control the outcome. And again, some of the things that you can't control if your spouse is toxic. You can't control if you have a complex situation or you have like a financial business valuation needed or a pension and all of those things. But at the end of the day, what we believe is if you download some of our guides and you walk through whatever is relevant to your situation, and I'll give you a kind of a brief background of all the things that we have, but you start somewhere, right? And you could be finding us when you're very in the middle of a divorce. You could be at the very beginning when you're planning in the dark, right? So at the end of the day, the court system is not going to save you. And after 20 years of being in the court system, I kind of decided that it would be better to empower you in order to take control over your situation and your strategy than to try to fix the broken system. And so everything in the divorce vault is created so that you have the tools you need to come up with a position statement, to put together a settlement offer, and to try to negotiate that offer either in mediation or outside of mediation. We even give you a lot of other information about depositions because, again, I'm a testifying expert witness. That means I go into court and I am an expert that they hire to give a business valuation number, to testify to the income analysis, or to determine what is separate and what is not separate. All of these things, and even forensically to look at hidden money, marital waste, all of these things are very helpful. But what we realize is the way you control and have more control is to go around the court system. So that means doing some of these things and then making a settlement offer and then just getting your case outside of the court. Like, don't leave it up to the lawyer. Really come back to, how do I get this case settled? So a lot of our guides, our initial guide is planning in the dark, and that's going to give you all the tools you need to start collecting data. What documents do you need to file in the court system, and what is the process? Then you're going to move towards a position statement. And the position statement is key because it's really going to help you get very clear on what you want, right? It's going to help you tell your story, but tell your story in a way that's more concise, that has a timeline, a history, the things that you really care about and that you want, and then the makings or the words of a settlement offer, right? This is going to guide you in mediation. It's going to guide you when you talk to a lawyer or an expert. It's going to be one way that somebody can basically read a synopsis of your divorce in 5 minutes so that you're not paying a bunch of people to listen to your story. It also gets you and your mindset very concise about what you want. And this is going to be key because, again, you're paying everybody by the hour. So the more you tell them about your history and treat them as a therapist as opposed to a strategist is just going to cost you. So the position statement gets you clear. That leads into a settlement offer. And a settlement offer is a property statement, which is typically a property statement is one of the financial disclosures from your state anyway. So if you've already filed that, you have the makings of a settlement offer already created. We just put it together in a spreadsheet that's more concise, that makes sense, that separates things out into two buckets. And so if you have $100,000 of equity in the house and $100,000 in retirement, we're trying to look at how do we even them out? Not how do we split things down the middle, but how do we even that out? So a settlement offer gives you control over ending the divorce process, right? Now, most people have never put together a settlement offer and they're a year in the process or longer. And this isn't a lawyer thing, this is a financial thing. So a lot of the tools that we have in the divorce vault is from my 20 years of experience of seeing, okay, How do you control the pieces that you can control and let go of the things that you can't? You can't control the judge, the mediator, your lawyer, your toxic spouse, none of that, but you can control your strategy. So the settlement offer, the basis of the settlement offer is that you're going to make the offer. You're going to anchor the deal. That's one of the guides that we talk about. Like that's the psychology of the offer, is that if you're making the offer first, then you're setting the tone for the negotiations. Now, that might mean that you need a preliminary business valuation. It might mean that you need the pension valuation. It might mean that you need documents from discovery. But how do you even make that offer without all the documents? Well, that could be where you then book a strategy session with us and you start to pull together your spreadsheet. You start to pull together this information and then you sit down with a strategist and say, okay, what is my global settlement strategy? Not what is my court strategy? What is my legal strategy? No, what is my financial settlement strategy? Now, that settlement strategy could also include a parenting plan. It could also include some other options of how do you settle everything. It should include everything in the kitchen sink into the settlement offer, but we have a guide to walk you through how to do it, even to do this on your own and then bring it back to your attorney in process and tell them, offer this over to the other side. Now, we also have guides on how to get through mediation, because mediation, the leverage is your settlement offer. The timing is mediation. If you guys have a mediation in play, everybody's going to get real serious about giving documents to each other, serious about exchanging information, serious about putting together an offer, or sometimes they even get serious about counter offering to your offer, right? So all of these things are in play so that you get out of the court system. We also have a guide for depositions, because if you can't get settled in mediation, if that person is highly toxic, you might have to go to trial. Still, 90% of cases settle on the courtroom steps. So that means that yesterday we settled a case that was going to trial next week. That's what we mean, that it goes all the way to almost the end and then everybody gets serious. So what we try to do is just push those timing metrics so that you have a mediation that happens a lot sooner, or you have the settlement offer that you're just giving over in an email and you're negotiating through email. You don't even have to go to a mediation, but you have to take control of some of this strategy, because this is financial strategy and you're probably working with a legal strategist, which is your lawyer. Your lawyer could also try to convince you, oh, you don't need a financial expert. Oh, I can help you put together this, property statement. I can look at your income analysis and determine what your alimony and child support is. But they are not a financial strategist. They are not doing the work of this settlement offer in a spreadsheet. They're putting it in words. And so what we want to do is create some numbers that tell the story, right? The follow the money guide is going to be where you really find leverage. It's going to be where you put together some of these simple summaries of hidden assets, simple summaries of movement to accounts that were not disclosed, simple summaries of cash withdrawals or money spent on outside relationships, the marital waste claim that we might just call questionable items that you could then submit through the court system, or you could go to mediation and say, hey, explain where this money went, right? So it's simple ways of trying to get settled outside of the court system, because this is the only way that you're going to cut down on the time, effort, and money you spent getting divorced. And quite frankly, after 20 years, these are the only areas that I believe you have control over. And so if you have control over it, why are you paying thousands of dollars for somebody to do it for you when some of the information and building of the spreadsheets and gathering the documents and organizing it, like, it's not that difficult, but you may need just a structure around how to do it. So start anywhere and get moving along in the process wherever is relevant to you, but also understand that our sister company is the Divorce Allies. And that's where you can come in and ask your questions every week, or you meet with one of the allies and you have a strategy session. You start to bring in people as consultants. Even you could even hire a lawyer that is a limited scope attorney. Either way, there's a million ways to go about this process. We're just trying to give you some ways that are more economical, that you have more control over, and that we have actually seen settle the case as opposed to go to trial. So if that's something that you're interested in, great, look around. We have guides. And then also, one of the things is we also have some guides for marketing. Why is marketing important? Because you need to put yourself out there to make money. You might need to pay some professionals. You might need to pay a lawyer to file your case or finish the case. You might have to pay a financial expert to come and testify or give you a report. Whatever works for you, you might need to make money doing it. So why not start to monetize online programs, just like we're doing here? Everything you see that we do is an example of things that you could be doing: posting online, creating content, creating guidebooks that also have video tutorials, that also have spreadsheets. Again, maybe you're into cooking or something like that. Whatever it is, there's never been a better opportunity to make money online. So look around, see what you find, and hopefully you download something that's going to move the needle in your divorce and shift you to go around the court system. This is the new divorce system, right? This is the new way of operating. And no, there's not a lot of people out there that are providing these types of guides. We're one of the very few. So if you have questions, let us know. Reach out for a consult or download our guide and get started today. You do have the power to do a lot of this work. Get to a settlement offer as soon as possible. That is your key to getting out of the court system. So we look forward to seeing you soon.